Here's a sentence that sounds like it was written by a lawyer having a fever dream. Your data is private, even when it's processed on someone else's servers, by a different company, that we don't fully control. That is, more or less, what Apple is telling us about its AI infrastructure right now. And the wild part? They might actually be right. Apple Intelligence, the AI system baked into iOS 18, iPadOS 18, and macOS Sequoia, has a feature called Private Cloud Compute. And when your iPhone can't handle a request locally, it kicks that request up to the cloud. Sometimes that cloud belongs to Google. So the question everyone should be asking is, how does privacy actually work when your most personal AI assistant is whispering your secrets to a Google data center? By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how Apple's private cloud compute architecture works, why Apple brought Google into the picture at all, how this compares to what OpenAI and ChatGPT are doing with your data, and whether Apple's privacy claims actually hold up under scrutiny. This is one of those stories where the technical details are genuinely fascinating, and they matter for every single person carrying an iPhone. Let's start with the basics. Apple Intelligence launched in late 2024, and it's Apple's answer to the AI arms race. You've got OpenAI with ChatGPT, Google has Gemini, Microsoft is all in on Copilot. Apple's play was different from day one. Their pitch wasn't the most powerful AI, it was the most private AI. They leaned into on-device processing, meaning your iPhone's own chip handles as many AI tasks as possible without ever sending data anywhere. For simple stuff, like rewriting a text message or summarizing a notification, that works great. The A17 Pro and M-series chips are genuinely powerful enough to run small language models locally. Here's what's interesting though. Not every request is simple. When you ask something complex, something that needs a bigger, more capable model, your iPhone has to escalate. Think of it like a customer service hierarchy. The local rep on your phone handles the easy tickets. Anything complicated gets escalated to a supervisor in the cloud. That supervisor, in Apple's architecture, lives on servers running Apple-designed software, with Apple's security guarantees. Apple calls this Private Cloud Compute, or PCC, and they've been remarkably transparent about how it works, publishing technical documentation, opening it to third-party security researchers, and even releasing a virtual research environment so people can actually probe the system. That level of openness is rare. That's not nothing. So where does Google come in? In May 2025, reports confirmed that Apple had signed a deal with Google Cloud to use its infrastructure as part of the backbone for Apple Intelligence processing. And before you close this tab in outrage, here's the nuance that most headlines missed. Apple is not sending your data to Google's AI. Your requests are not being fed into Gemini. Google is providing compute infrastructure, essentially, really powerful servers and networking, not AI models or data analysis. Think of it like renting warehouse space. Google owns the building. Apple controls everything inside it. The locks, the shelves, the staff, the security cameras, all Apple's. Google just owns the walls. Apple's PCC nodes running on Google Cloud are still governed by Apple's own software stack, Apple's own encryption, and Apple's own attestation protocols. Here's what those protocols actually do, because this is the clever part. When your iPhone sends a request to private cloud compute, it doesn't just blindly fire data into the cloud. First, it cryptographically verifies that the server it's talking to is genuinely running Apple's published, unmodified PCC software. This is called attestation. If the server can't prove it's running the right code, your device refuses to send the request. It's like a secret handshake, except the handshake is mathematically verified and unforgeable. On top of that, Apple's PCC is designed so that even Apple employees cannot access your data. There's no admin backdoor. Requests are processed and then cryptographically erased. Apple has even invited the broader security research community to verify these claims, which is a move that's either very confident or very brave, depending on how you look at it. Now let's compare this to the other players in the room. OpenAI's ChatGPT processes your conversations on OpenAI's servers, and by default, those conversations can be used to improve their models, unless you opt out. Google's Gemini, similarly, collects interaction data under its standard privacy policy. Microsoft's Copilot, deeply integrated into Windows 11, has faced ongoing scrutiny about what telemetry it sends back. Apple's approach is architecturally different. The goal, stated and to a significant degree verified, is that no persistent record of your query exists after it's answered. That's a fundamentally different design philosophy than we collect data but protect it. Apple is aiming for we structurally cannot collect the data in the first place. Is it perfect? No system is. Security researchers will keep probing. The Google Cloud partnership is still a dependency that introduces surface area. And as Apple Intelligence expands, deeper Siri integration, more third-party app hooks, and the ongoing ChatGPT tie-in that lets Siri hand off requests to OpenAI when users consent, the privacy picture gets more layered. The ChatGPT integration is opt-in. Apple is clear about that. But the very existence of that pipeline means users need to understand which requests stay on device, which go to PCC, and which leave Apple's ecosystem entirely. Here's the bottom line. Apple has built something technically ambitious. Private cloud compute is not marketing fluff. It's a real cryptographic architecture with real third-party verification. The Google Cloud partnership doesn't undermine that, but it does require trust in Apple's ability to enforce its own standards on infrastructure it doesn't own. Whether you find that reassuring or uncomfortable probably says something about how much you already trust Apple. What's undeniable is that this is the most serious attempt any major tech company has made to build privacy into cloud AI at the architecture level, not just the policy level. And in a world where ChatGPT, Gemini, and Copilot are all hungry for your data, that actually matters. If this breakdown helped you understand what's really going on under the hood of your iPhone's AI, hit that like button. It genuinely helps more people find this channel. Subscribe to Axe and Wire for weekly deep dives into the tech stories that actually affect your life. And check the description. We've linked Apple's own private cloud compute security documentation, so you can read the technical claims yourself and decide what you think. We'll see you in the next one.